Hey, so I've got a couple of paint palettes here, 3 different paint palettes, and today we're going to be painting them. I'm not sure how many I can do for this video. It can differ from doing one paint palette to doing
all 3 different paint palettes.
Also guys, subscribe if you'd like to become a one scene and hit all notifications so you can get notified every time we post a new video. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Actually, I also forgot to mention that this trend was started by the one, the only Moriah Elezebith. She's a very talented artist and crafter. She's an artist here on YouTube, so her links are going to be down below. And again, thank you for Moriah Elezebith for starting this trend at the first place. I'm starting by sanding the palette with some sandpaper so I can create a rough surface for the paint to stick on because the palette is really slippery. After that, I am dipping my brush into Zazazo because I don't want that fake wood showing through the painting. Then I'm sketching out my whole sketch for this painting, and after that I am starting and I'm creating the sky gradient, and it is from dark blue to light blue because yes, we're gonna be painting a landscape. If you haven't watched my last video, I painted in it a landscape and I was pretty happy with how it came out. Then I am blocking in all of the mountains and I'm starting and I am shading the mountains, and I'm getting my detail brush and adding these thin lines and trying to create the effect of snow, and I think that it did work quite well. Then I kept pushing my brush to the canvas and getting some light blue and just trying to create the effect of snow. Now, in the reference that I was using, there was some fog, and it was really hard to try and recreate that with paint, especially with acrylic paint, which I work in. It's a lot harder to work in it because its drying time is a lot faster than oil paint, for example, so I had a lot of difficulties with that. After I was done with the mountains, I started and made some faraway trees that should look like they're far away from distance, and I honestly just put a blob of paint and tried working with that, and I think that I got it to a pretty good point at the end. Then I started and I also painted in some really big trees and bushes, and it was the whole process for all of them. I just put a blob of paint, blended it so yeah. While I paint, please listen to this high quality music of me. Okay, that's enough. So then I started and painted in the water, and the water was really simple and it was abstract. I just made the whole same thing that I did up, down. I made the reflection of everything, so it had a lot of colors to it, and I also added these abstract shapes which are from the reflections. Okay, we're done with the first one, and not gonna lie, this one had a lot of challenges to it. Usually I get inspired and recreate some other artists' artwork, but for today I thought that I would do something original, and I decided to use my own reference, and it was from Byeee, so shout out to Byeee for mentioning this in one of her videos, and I have found a reference on there, and here is how it turned out. This is definitely something that's different than anything that I have ever done. The mountains and the whole top area is kind of realistic, but the area down here is almost not abstract, but not realistic. It's different in a way, but I am really happy with how it came out. But the other landscape painting that I did 2 or 1 video ago, I'm not sure when this is going to be uploaded, was a tiny bit better, but I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. So So it's time for palette numeros dos. For this painting, I was struggling with ideas real hard, so I just landed on doing ish that was so pretty. It has a lot of like elements to it, which are flying, like I believe they are rings. I don't know. And it's red, and I kept on adding these little knickknacks to it and shading to it that made it look really nice and made it look like it was actually realistic. And at first the painting looked really bad, but at the end I was actually really happy with how it came out. Parts of it were really light and parts of it were really dark, and I was in love with that. And later on we're gonna see this shading, and here is when I tell you about these wings here. I just added these like floating things into it and then started and added individual strands of like things to it. Here I added like scales to it. I just put some black dots, and on top of them I put some grayish whitish dots to create the scaly effect and make it more interesting and like glossy, I believe. For these things that I'm painting right now, I added a lot of different colors to them to try and make them look like they're 3D, not flat. And I added some pinks, some oranges, some reds, some blacks, and even some browns. And that whole mix, and some blues. At the end, I felt like it needed some more like of these scaly things here, so I added more, and ta-da! Anyway, you guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to leave a big thumbs up and also subscribe down below. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next week. Bye!